Hello students, hope you have prepared previous classes lesson. So we started chapter 1 crop production and management. Means crop production means cultivating the land. We also learnt types of crops. Depending on which season it grows, crops may be two types, kharif crops and rabi crops. Kharif crops grow during June to September and rabi crops grow during October to March. We started discussing about agricultural practices like preparation of soil, sowing, adding manures and fertilizers, irrigation, protection from weeds, harvesting, storage. So these are various agricultural practices. Cultivation of crops involves these activities undertaken by farmers over a period of time. These agricultural practices can be broadly divided into two parts. Starting from sowing to harvesting, the crops are there in the field. So the management of these plants in the field is one task, and the other, that is when it is harvested means when it has been collected from the field. Then next step is also equally important, that is to keep it in proper way so that it can be utilized in future. So that what we say storage, right? But before all this, preparation of soil is important. While crops are grown, the first step is preparation of soil. Actually, to get a good production, there should be a proper planning. Stepwise it is being done so that we get a good production. The preparation of the soil is the first step before growing a crop. You know that soil contains minerals, water, air, and some living organisms. In addition, dead plants and animals get decomposed by soil organisms. In this way, various nutrients held in the dead organisms are released back into the soil. These nutrients are again absorbed by plants. Since if only a few centimeters of the top layer of soil supports plant growth, turning and loosening of soil brings the nutrient-rich soil to the top so that plants can use these nutrients. Thus, turning and loosening of soil is very important for cultivation of crops. The process of loosening and turning of the soil is called tilling or ploughing. So, in preparation of soil, the first step is ploughing. This is done by using a plough. If the soil is very dry, it may need watering before ploughing. So, watering the land, that what we say irrigation. So, little bit of irrigation is also done before ploughing the land. If it rains, so naturally the soil will be wet and it will be easy to plough the land or to dig the land or to upturn the soil. But if it is dry, if it has not rained, so in that case the soil has to be irrigated, it has to be watered so that the soil becomes wet. Next, you see, the ploughed field may have big pieces of soil called crumbs. It is necessary to break these crumbs with a plank. The field is labelled, so this is called leveling. That means this when the soil is ploughed, so there will be big pieces of soil. So this crumbs has to be broken into smaller pieces and it has to be pressed. So usually the farmers use a wooden or an iron leveler. So they press it softly so that it becomes even. And this step is called leveling. The field is leveled for sowing as well as for irrigation purposes. When the field is leveled means it is being made even, right? So this field is leveled for sowing as well as for irrigation purposes. The leveling of soil is done with the help of a leveler. Sometimes manure is added to the soil before tilling. Manure, it is voluminous and it takes time to get mixed with the soil. So while the soil is being prepared, farmers, they add manure to the soil so that this manure adds nutrients to the soil so that plants can utilize this. This is called manuring. That means in preparation of soil, few steps are there: ploughing, leveling and manuring. And if it does not rain, irrigation also has to be done. First irrigation, then plowing, leveling and manuring. Before showing the seeds, it is necessary to break soil to the size of grains to get a better yield. This is done with the help of various tools. So now we are going to read about agricultural implements. Here the diagram shows you a farmer is plowing the land with the help of a plow. Plow. This is being used since ancient times for tilling the soil, adding fertilizers to the crops, removing the weeds, scraping of soil, etc. This implement is made of wood and is drawn by a pair of bulls or other animals like horses, camels, etc. It contains a strong triangular iron strip called plowshare. So this is the plowshare. This triangle structure, this is the plowshare. The main part of the plow is a long log of wood which is called a plow shaft. This is the plow shaft. Handle at one end of the shaft. The other end is attached to a beam which is placed on the bull's necks. One pair of bulls and a man can easily operate the plow. The indigenous wooden plow is increasingly being replaced by iron plows nowadays. Next is hoe. See, this is the diagram of a hoe. It is a simple tool which is used for removing weeds and for loosening the soil. It has a long rod of wood or iron. This is the rod. A strong, broad and bent plate of iron is fixed to one of its ends. See, this is the bent plate and works like a blade. It is pulled by animals. Next, you see cultivator. Nowadays, plowing is done by tractor-driven cultivator. The use of cultivator saves labor and time. See, this is the cultivator which is driven by a tractor. Now let us discuss the advantages of plowing. When the soil is loosened or it is upturned, it allows the roots to penetrate deep into the soil. The loose soil allows the roots to breathe easily, even when they go deep into the soil. The loosened soil helps in the growth of earthworms and microbes present in the soil. These organisms are friends of the farmers, since they further turn and loosen the soil and add humus to it. The top layer of the soil supports the plant growth. Turning and loosening of soil brings the nutrient-rich soil to the top so that plants can use these nutrients. Thus, turning and loosening of soil is very important. These are the advantages of plowing. So, today we have learnt about preparation of soil. Thank you, students.